Hello. Today we're going to be talking about reciprocals and fraction division. And reciprocals, big word, but we've got to find out what they are. And it really starts off with that every fraction that's out there, like 2/3, there's a partner with that guy, a very special relationship. When you flip him on his head, 2/3, you take it to 3/2. When you times these guys, do it in really slow motion. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, and it equals 1. And these guys have a special relationship that they multiply to give you 1. See it again with, if we do like 4/5. You times it by, what would be that special relationship? This guy right over here would be a 5/4. When you flip it on its head, they multiply to 1. That is what reciprocals are, is when they switch places, just top and bottom. Show you one more just to make sure you got this idea. 8/11, 11/8. And that's 1. So a reciprocal is just when you flip a fraction on its head. And you can even do it with 7, like the 7 is written as a fraction, 7/1, 1/7. Times those two together and ta-da, they exactly cancel each other out with everything and you get the number 1 back. Here are a few tougher ones. When you get something like 2 1/5. Like, oh goodness, what is that? Well, first of all, we have to change this into an improper fraction. So 5 times 2 is 10. This is 10/5 plus 1/5. That's the same as 11/5. Now you can easily identify, say, hey, I can flip that guy on its head. It's 5/11. And ta-da, there you have it. 55/55 is 1. So these guys are all called reciprocals, and there's a reason that these things exist. And the whole purpose of this lesson was to go over here and do fraction division. So let's go through and see how division relates with reciprocals. If you take a number like 20 divided by 4, everybody's like, hey, I know what that is. That's 5. Well, you're exactly right. Notice what happens when I take 20 and times by the opposite of this guy, the reciprocal of that guy. What happens? Well, this is 20/1 times 1/4 equals 20/4, which reduces down to the number 5. Like, ooh, something really weird just happened. 20 dividing by 4 and 20 timesing by 1/4 turn out to be the exact same thing. Let's try that again. Let's take 14 divided by 2 and 14 times 1/2. Timesing by the reciprocal and dividing by a number. And they both come out to be 7. And that is what you are thinking in your head is exactly right. That division by a number, division, is exactly equal to multiplication by, not by the number that you had, but by the reciprocal. We'll put recip right there. And so this allows us to actually divide fractions. If we have something like 3/7 divided by 4/5, you're like, how do you divide fractions? Well, you don't. That's the whole key. You keep this guy, you change this to a multiplication, 3/7, times by this guy flipped on its head, 5/4. And this is the problem that you do, because this one's not too bad. You take 3 times 5 is 15, 7 times 4 is 28. And that's exactly right. 3/7 divided by 4/5 is the same as 3/7 times 5/4. Division is multiplication by a reciprocal. All right, let's do another problem and make sure we've got this down. 5/7 divided by 2 1/11. Now when we take this is kind of interesting. We can't quite do the reciprocal. It's just like this guy over here. We need to take and break that down. This is 5/7 divided by, write this as an improper fraction. 11 times 2 is 22, plus 1 is 23/11. 5/7 divided by 23/11, that's 5/7 times 11/23, gives us 55 over, ooh, that's bad. You have to do some multiplication there. That's 161 is what it looks like. And that's your answer. That's what this thing turns out to be. You take and rewrite it by keeping it, changing this to a times, and flipping this one. Some people call it the Napoleon Dynamite. Flip and multiply. Gosh, or keep it, change it, flip it. That'll help you review how to do those on a regular basis. And that's our review.